My wife and I were invited to go and speak to a group of people. And it was a pastor, a minister, and he invited me. And I said, no, where's your church? No, we don't have a church. And I said, well, where are we going to meet? No, we all meet in a shed on a farm. The richest farmer in the area. I mean, mega rich. And his shed is a mansion. And this is where they meet. And I walk in there, and it's not many people. It's about 200, 250 people. And I'm thinking to myself, now, what do I say? These are not Seventh Day Adventists. I'm saying, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? And I have to be very careful, you know. If you are doing a public campaign, you are on your territory. You speak. But this is not my territory. That's their territory. So I walk into this place and I'm thinking, well, I'll start gently. You know, something like evolution, creation bores me to death, by the way. It's so pathetic that people should even worry about stuff like that. Isn't it so? But you have to do it because, you know, we need an entering wedge. And that's a good entering wedge. I think, well, maybe I'll start with that. Or maybe the health message. You know, the outside world likes our health message more than we do. You realize that, of course, don't you? Hey? And I'm walking in there and I'm saying to myself, you know, I'll start with something like this. And the minister comes up to me and he says, we want to know who the Antichrist is. I say to him, excuse me, sir, are you sure we should start with something like that? He said, yes. We've had pastor after pastor here from all the denominations. We want to know what is truth. And there's always something that niggles and bugs us, and we can't put our finger on it. Will you speak about that issue? We want to know what you have to say. So I said, okay. Now, you don't know what these people are like, right? So I'm thinking, okay, I'll be very careful and gingerly approach the subject. And I'm thinking, you know, should I say anything about the charismatic movement or something like this? And quite openly, a lady comes to me from the audience. She comes, she says, excuse me, thank you that you are here, but we need to know about speaking in tongues. I said, oh, why? She says, because I come from a church that speaks in tongues, and I'm very uncomfortable, and I know there's something wrong, but I can't put my finger on it. Would you please speak about this subject? And someone else pipes up, what is the real day? Is it now the Sunday or is it the Saturday? Which is the Sabbath? Will you help us with that? And slowly I started realizing these were 200 to 250 people that had come out of every single denomination. And God had gathered them together, each one of them saying, there's something wrong, but I cannot put my finger on it. And I don't want to be associated with what is going on. And so I will distance myself from my previous denomination. And they had gathered together, and God had gathered them already. They were all Seventh-day Adventists. They just didn't know it yet. And you know what? I believe God is doing this all over the world. And He has groups and groups of people who all know there's something wrong, but they don't know what it is. And why isn't He bringing them into the church? Because the church is not ready to receive them. Sometimes they're safer there than in the church. But when the church starts waking up, and I'm glad to say I believe this is happening in Southern Africa, they come in droves. And may the Lord bless us as we go towards a time such as this world has never seen before. We are standing on the threshold of the most momentous events that have ever occurred on this planet. Now, I haven't even started the sermon yet.